Nam tam, nam tam, nam tam tanam tam, nam tam tanam tam, nam tam tanam tam tanam tam tanam tam, nam 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 tam tanam tam. Namaste, Namaste, Namaste Sharanye Shive Sanukampe, Namaste Jagadvyapike Vishwarupe, Namaste Jagatvandya Padaravinde, Namaste Jagadtarini Trahi Durge. Namaste Jagatchintyamana Swarupe, Namaste Mahayogi Vijnana Rupe, Namaste Namaste Sadananda Rupe, Namaste Jagadtarini Trahi Durge. Ma pa pa ma pa ma pa da pa ma pa ma ga ga ma da ma ga ri sa da pa ni sa. Anathasya deenasya trishnaturasya bhayatasya bhitasya baddhasya janto tvameka gatirdevi nistarakartri. Namaste Jagadtarini Trahi Durge. Aranye rani darune shatru madhe jale sankate rajage pravate, tvameka gatirdevi nistarahetu. Namaste Jagadtarini Trahi Durge. Durgudata kidatattim tanam tom tadiklam, Durgudata kidagina tom tadim gina tom gina tom. Apare mahadustare tyanta ghore vipatsagare majjatam deha bhajam, tvameka gatirdevi nistaranoka. Namaste Jagadtarini Trahi Durge. Namashandike Chandordandalila Samudkhandita Kandala Shesha Shatru, Tvameka Gatirvigna Sandohartri. Namaste Jagadtarini Trahi Durge. Pada sari ma pa pa ma pa da pa ma ri 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 da sa ri ma pa da sa. Tvameka sada radhita satyavadi nyaneka khila krodhana krodhanistha, ida pingana tvam sushumna chanadi. Namaste Jagadtarini Trahi Durge. Namo Devi Durge Shive Bhimanadi Sada Sarva Siddhi Pradatri Swarupe Vibhuti Sat जगतां कालरात्रिस्वरूपे नमस्ते जगत्तारिणि त्राहि दुर्गे नमस्ते जगत्तारिणि त्राहि दुर्गे नमस्ते जगत्तारिणि त्राहि दुर्गे इदं स्तोत्रं मया प्रोक्तम् आपदुद्धारहेतुकं त्रिसन्ध्यमेकसन्ध्यं वा पठनात् घोरसङ्कटात्।
Bring my most humble pranams at the divine lotus feet of our beloved Mother Sai. A loving Sairam, dear brothers and sisters of the Sai family in Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, and around the globe. Let us begin by acknowledging the First Nations people of Australia upon whose land we meet. We pay our respects to the elders past, present, and emerging. We also acknowledge the traditional elders in New Zealand and Fiji. Welcome to another special monthly Online Ladies Devotional Offering. As part of the 97 Days Sadhana program and Avatar Declaration Day, we are truly blessed to hear from our loving Dr. Lathashree, all the way from Prasanthi Nilayam. Dr. Lathashree is a medical doctor by profession and serves as a senior medical officer in the Sri Sathya General Hospital, Pransanthi Nilayam. Sister has served as a Bal Vikas Guru and a spiritual coordinator in Oman, where she was involved in organizing and conducting monthly health awareness camps. Dr. Lathashree is a regular speaker in the Pransanthi Nilayam Ashram Satsang and has participated in the Children's Hour program of Radio Sai. Sister has given talks in English and Kannada on the Sri Sathya Sai official channel and conducts Bhagavad Gita classes online. Presently, Sister Lathashree is delivering a series of talks on the subject Vedanta Parichaya, an introduction to Vedanta, on the Thursday live program of the Sri Sathya Sai Media Center. Please join me in giving a very warm welcome to Dr. Lathashree.
Om Shri Sai Ram, offering most humble pranams at the divine lotus feet of our ever-present Lord. Invoking Bhagwan's presence and benediction in this holy satsang, dear sisters and brothers, my loving Sai Ram to all of you. Tomorrow, the 20th of October, as we all know, is the most memorable and the most momentous day in the history of mankind, isn't it? It is on this day, way back in 1940, little Sathya, who was just 14 years old, flung aside his bag containing school books and declared, "I am no longer your Sathya. I am Sai Baba. I have my work to do and my devotees are calling me." And saying so, he walked out of the house and entered the garden of the neighbor's house and sat on a rock and started his work of uplifting the mankind. And this is the day on which Swami declared his Avatarhood. Though he had given many a hint, subtle hints, even when he was a small boy, about his avataric mission. And the very first bhajan that, as we all know, he taught the mankind is Manasa Bhajare Guru Charanam Dustara Bhava Sagara Taranam. And what does this bhajan mean? O mind, take refuge at the lotus feet of the Master. And why? Dustara Bhava Sagara Taranam. It is not so easy to cross this ocean of samsara. And why our life is called Bhavasagara? The word bhava in Sanskrit means to become. So, having come into this world by virtue of our own karma, what are we after? We are frantically after something or the other in the world, isn't it? We are chasing the objects of the world, the people in the world. Why? In order to become something in this world. We think that our self-esteem, the fulfillment of our life, our happiness and peace comes by becoming something in the world. And that is why this life, this little life of ours is known as Bhavasagara. But what does Swami say? One of the most beautiful statements of Bhagwan, the being is lost in the becoming. What is being? Being is our own true nature, Sat Chit Ananda, this unchanging supreme consciousness, whereas becoming is something we are all after. And naturally, when we are frantically after this becoming, what happens is we lose sight of our own being, our own true nature. And when Swami says, Dustara Bhavasagara Taranam, it is difficult for us to cross this life, and that is why Bhagwan gives us the ultimate solution. Give your mind to the Master, and that is the beginning of the avataric mission for you and me. In fact, Bhagwan had given, as I said, subtle hints about this mission, and one of the most significant incidents in the history of this mission is Janab Mehboob Khan was Swami's English teacher when Swami was little Sathya. This blessed soul who had recognized the divinity in Bhagwan, he would go out of his way to please Swami. And once he comes to Swami's class to take his period, and what does he see? He is shocked to see little Sathya standing on the bench, and obviously he is given a punishment. And he asks the teacher, why have you punished Sathya? The teacher says he was not taking down the notes. He says he knows all the lessons and he is busy making some copies of Ashtottaram. So naturally I had to punish him. Then this English teacher, Shri Mehboob Khan, says, Sir, your period is over and it is my period now. But the teacher, who is sitting on the chair, sheepishly says, I cannot get up from the chair. I am stuck to the chair. And then this English teacher, the blessed soul that he is, Shri Mehboob Khan, he senses that there is a connection between little Sathya being given the punishment and the teacher being glued to the chair. So he says, first ask Sathya to come down. And as little Sathya comes down, lo and behold, the teacher is able to get up from the chair. And what does this incident signify? It is only when God comes down to earth, there is hope of ascent for the mankind. So Avatara literally means the descent of Godhead for the ascent of mankind. And the chair with its 4 legs to which the teacher is stuck, that itself signifies our life with our own body, our mind, the intellect and the ego to which we are so bound. And if we have to extricate ourselves from all this, if we have to become free, it is very important for the avatar to come down to our level and teach us how to do so. Avatara, as Swami says, it is coming down. But Swami tells us it is not just an ordinary coming down. Swami says, when a child lying on the ground is wailing and crying, what does the mother do? The mother comes down to the level of the child, lifts the child and comforts the child. And this is what Avatar does. He comes down to our level as the Divine Mother. And Swami also says, a highly ranked IAS officer who is probably the boss in his office, when he comes home, what does he do? He sits at the level of the child and teaches ABCD, the basics of the alphabets to the child. And this is what the Divine Father is. The Divine Father comes down to our level to teach us the basics of spirituality itself. And there is this another dimension to Avatar, as Swami himself says in this beautiful quote, which goes like this: "The play is his, the role is his. He decides the dress and decorum, the entrance and the exit. All you have to do is to play your role well and earn his approbation when the curtain falls." That is what we need to do in this cosmic drama. Play our role well as per the directions of the Divine Director. But what do? We lisp our dialogues. We write our own dialogues. We prompt others also on the stage with the revised script. And naturally, the play goes haywire, isn't it? So the Divine Director has to step onto the stage to correct the whole thing. And this is what the Avatar does. He teaches us as to how to play our role well, how to live in this world well. That is what also the Avatar teaches us. And our Sanatana Dharma speaks about 4 types of Avatar. They are Avesha Avatar, Yoga Avatar, Purna Avatar, and Amsha Avatar. Avesha Avatar is a momentary manifestation of Avatar on earth for a specific mission. The best example of Avesha Avatar is Narasimha Avatar, where to uphold the faith of little Prahlada, God comes as Narasimha and slays the demon Hiranyakashipu. So even if one prays to God, the God doesn't hesitate to come down as Avatar. That is what Avesha Avatar is. The second one is Yoga Avatar. Yoga Avatar is the advent of the Avatar who teaches mankind yoga, that is the path to divinity. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa is considered to be a Yoga Avatar. And in the days of the Yod, Dakshinamurti, an avatar of Lord Shiva, is considered as Yoga Avatar who taught his disciples only through silence. Then there is this Purna Avatar. Purna Avatar exhibits all the 16 attributes of the Avatar, whereas Amsha Avatar lacks some of these attributes. Lord Rama is considered to be Amsha-avatar, while Lord Krishna is considered as the Purna-avatar. Well, what are the attributes of this Purna-avatar? The first 5 attributes are the 5 senses of knowledge, the Pancha Jnanendriyas, our ability to see, hear, touch, taste and smell, Shabda, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, Sparsha. And then the next 4 components are the 4 aspects of Antahkarana, the inner equipment, the Manas, the mind, Buddhi, the intellect, Chitta, the memory, and Ahankara, the sense of identity in us. So these 9 components are shared by human being as well, isn't it? That is what makes human being so special in the creation, because of these 9 attributes which are shared with the Avatar. And it is exactly because of these 9 components that human being alone can consciously evolve and on the ladder of evolution and ascend to divinity itself. See, we all know the legendary stories of Sai Gita, Bhagwan's elephant, known for her connection with Bhagwan and known for her devotion to Swami. And Swami once remarked, "For all the devotion that Sai Gita has for me, she will be rewarded with a human birth in her next life." See, Jantunam Narajanma Durlabham this human birth is so precious, because only in this human birth that man can realize his innate divinity. That's why Swami keeps telling us, what does man mean? M-A-N. Swami says, Maya, overcome. Man alone can overcome Maya. A, Atman, realize. He alone can realize his true nature of Atman. And N is, he can attain to the state of ultimate freedom, that is Nirvana. And these are the first nine attributes of the avatar. The 10th one is Anugraha, which means the grace of avatar. This Anugraha aspect is seen even in sages and saints and elevated beings. And the next one is called Vishesha Anugraha, which means special grace. See, Vishesha Anugraha is that aspect of the avatar which means even when one does not come in physical contact with the avatar, even he gets the grace of the avatar. And that is why even those brothers and sisters who have come to Bhagwan's fold, even post Mahasamadhi, they need not despair just because they have not had the physical darshan of Bhagwan. But the grace is equally available to all of them also. That is the special attribute which is only for avatar. Then comes the ability of creation, sustenance and annihilation. This is the next attribute. Then the omniscience, omnipresence and omnipotence is a special attribute of Purnavatar. Omniscience, the Lord knows everything. That is the Sarvajñatva. And He is capable of anything and everything. Omnipotence, it is called and the next one is the omnipresence, Sarva Vyapakatva, the all-pervading nature of the avatar. And this is very important for us when we are with the avatar. See, once John Hislop had spoken to overseas devotees in Vrindavan ashram, and those days it was only Sai Ram shed. And after he finishes his talk, he comes to Swami, and Swami tells him, "See, Hislop, all you did today was to confuse the devotees. You should not speak like this. You should speak in a simple way." Then John Hislop asks Swami, "Swami, in what form were you present there in the hall when the talk was going on?" Swami says, "I was present in the form of omnipresent awareness." If we are able to live in the awareness of this omnipresent awareness of Swami, just think, brothers and sisters, how will our life be, isn't it? Our life will be naturally transformed, isn't it? We will be exemplary devotees demonstrating exemplary behavior in alignment with the teachings of Bhagwan. We know that the villain in Mahabharata, Duryodhana, once says, "Janami dharmam nachami pravrittihi, janami adharmam nachami nivrittihi." He says, "I know what dharma is, but I cannot just tread the path of dharma. And I know what adharma is, but still I cannot pull myself out of this path of adharma." That is his predicament. And a devotee once says to Bhagwan, "Swami, this is our predicament also. We keep on repeating the same mistakes again and again, Swami, though we know that we should not be doing it. And what is the reason, Swami?" And Swami says, the reason is very simple. You forget that God is observing you all the time. You forget this omniscience, omnipresence of the avatar, and that is the reason you keep on making mistakes again and again. the Prema Vahini, the very first Vahini that Bhagwan wrote. Swami says, in order to cultivate Prema, unconditional love, you need to do two things. Swami says, however small your own fault may be, however insignificant it may be, you must consider it as big and very significant, and you must repent for it. You must resolve not to repeat it. And the second one, Swami says, whatever the fault of others may be, however small and insignificant it may, however big it may be, however significant it may be, and consider them to be very small and insignificant, and just let go. The second point Swami says is, whatever you do to yourself and with others, always live in this awareness that Swami is watching all this. All your thoughts, words and deeds are known to Bhagwan, and if you can follow this, you will be able to cultivate unconditional love, Prema. If we are able to live in this awareness that Bhagwan not only is omnipresent, omniscient and omnipotent, but he is omnivigilant as well. Those two eyes which are always on us, that would be the beginning of inner transformation in us, isn't it? And this is what we need to do, having come into the fold of Avatar. The next attribute of Avatar, the 14th one, is Tirodhana. Tirodhana means the ability to appear and disappear at will. And this explains as to, so many devotees experiencing the presence of Bhagwan, in fact, in flesh and blood, away from Prasanthi Nilayam all over the world. And this is one of the special attributes of Avatar. The last two attributes, which are exclusive to Purnavatar and which are very significant from devotees' point of view, they are the Rupa Shakti and the Nama Shakti of the Avatar, the power of the form of the Avatar and the name of the Avatar. That is why wherever the Avatar is worshipped, not necessarily in the physical form, but even in the form of a photo, or even in meditation, in our prayer, if we invoke the form of the Avatar, the grace will manifest. Once, Srimati Subbalakshmi Amma, the legendary Carnatic classical singer, was having an interview with Bhagwan, and she looks at the photos of Swami and says, Swami, these photos are so beautiful. Then Swami asks, whose photos? Swami, it is your photo. Then Swami says, it is not just my photo, it is me. See, dear brothers and sisters, we all carry this pocket calendar of Swami's photo in our pockets, isn't it? So we are verily carrying Swami with us all the time. And that is the power of the form of the Avatar. And this form of Avatar, Sri Sathya Sai Avatar, is the most beautiful form for us to meditate upon, isn't it? That is why it is said, Dhyana Moolam Gurur Murtihi. This form is the most auspicious form for us to meditate upon. The last attribute is the Nama Shakti of the Avatar, the power of the name of the Avatar itself. Wherever the name of the Avatar is chanted, grace manifests. See, when God created man, He divided the property between God and man. And this Narayana, God, says to Nara, man, O Nara, I will hide the form with me. The form will be with me, but I will give you the name. This is how I divide my property. I will empower you with my name, and therefore the name is as powerful as the form of the Avatar. There is no difference between the name and the form of the avatar. It is called Nama Nami Abheda. And once Brahmaji, the creator, was discussing certain intricacies of creation with Brihaspati, the preceptor of Devatas. And two ascetics who are very handsome and who are absorbed in themselves, who are just not bothered about the surroundings, they walk by. And this Brihaspati asks Brahmaji, who are they? Then Brahmaji says, they are Nara and Narayana. They are always inseparable. And it is said in Dwapara Yuga, Narayana is Lord Krishna and Nara is Arjuna. And it is also said in Kali Yuga, Narayana, this Nara is man, we ourselves, and Narayana is there in Nara himself and in the form of the name. That is the power of the name. The name is already within us, the name of this God, and all we have to do is to chant this name of the avatar so that we can invoke the grace of the avatar. This is what happens to Pedubuttu Amma. Pedubuttu Amma, the blessed soul that she is, who had seen both Shirdi Sai avatar and Sathya Sai avatar, she would sleep in the veranda outside Swami's room. And one night before going to sleep, she just says, Sai Rama. Then Swami immediately opens the door and comes out and asks, hey, why did you call me? And she says, Swami, where did I call you? I just uttered your name, that's all. Then Swami says, when you call out my name, it is like beckoning me to you and I am there for you. This is the name. This is the power of the name of the avatar. And that is why, Bhagwan says, if dhyana is the prescribed means to liberation in Krita Yuga, and it is tapas, penance in Treta Yuga, and archana is the prescribed means, the ritualistic worship of God in Dwapara Yuga, Swami says in Kali Yuga, the means to liberation is namasmarana, the chanting the name of God. And what better name do we need than the name of this Sathya Sai avatar itself, isn't it? As a means to liberation. And Swami knows our situation when we do not have the resources or the time, and even time and also the efforts that we can put in to do all these ritualistic worship, the elaborate worship, or even penance. Swami has given us this simplest sadhana, yet the most effective sadhana as the means for liberation. It doesn't need any special qualification. Whatever we are doing, wherever we are, we can chant the name of Swami, and we can sanctify all that we do by chanting the name of Bhagwan, isn't it? And Swami also gives us an interesting tip to do namasmarana, nirantara namasmarana, so that the mind doesn't run amok. See, this was told to devotees in probably 60s, where there was no television or internet. Radio was only the medium of entertainment. And Swami says, in a radio program, when a song is being played, after the song gets over, before the next song comes on air, in this momentary interval, there is this advertisement that automatically comes on air. Swami says, similarly, when you are absorbed in doing something, naturally your mind will be in the task and you cannot think of God. But the moment one task is over, before you move to the next task, in that momentary brief interval, your mind should move on to the namasmarana mode. It should start chanting the name of God. And this is how we can do namasmarana, even whatever time, whenever we have got time to do. And in fact, this namasmarana can go on and on whenever we are not doing anything. And the Namasmarana is such a simple sadhana that all of us can do. And the uniqueness of this Namasmarana is it gives us both Chitta Shuddhi and Chitta Ekagrata, both the purity of the mind and single-pointed focus of the mind. See, we all keep these naphthalene balls or mothballs in our cupboard so that the small creatures and insects do not damage our clothes, isn't it? Similarly, chanting the name of God, this Namasmarana, is like keeping these naphthalene balls, the mothballs, in every crevice and corner of our mind where the negativity will not enter into the mind. And Swami also says when we sing the glory of God in the form of Nama Sankirtan, all the Arishad workers, especially when we see aloud His glories, all the inner enemies that are lurking in our mind, they just run away. That is how it gives us Chitta Shuddhi. And as we all know, as Swami says, our mind is like a monkey, a mad monkey, Swami says, which is not only a mad monkey, but which is also bitten by scorpion and which is also drunk. That is the state of our mind. What a chaos it is inside our mind. We can all imagine. Just as a monkey runs from branch to branch and tree to tree and covers the entire forest in a trice, our mind also does the same thing. It just jumps from one thought to another. The mind is scattered in so many thoughts. And Chitta Ekagrata is to bring such a mind to focus on one particular thought. So, when we start chanting the one name of God, it is like training the monkey to climb that same tree, up, down, again and again, so that the monkey doesn't run amok. Similarly, the mind can be trained to focus on the thought of divinity, the very thought that is required for us to meditate upon, to connect to all the time by chanting the name of Swami. That is the power of Namasmarana. See, these are the 16 attributes of Purnavatar. And the previous Purnavatar that graced this earth is that of Lord Krishna. Once, a scholarly devotee who was speaking in the divine presence refers to Swami as Purnavatar. Then Swami calls him and says something to him, and he comes back and says, I stand corrected. Sri Sathya Sai Baba, this Bhagwan Baba, is the Paripurna Avatar, he says. So this avatar that we are with is much more than Purnavatar, whose attributes, whose glory we cannot even fathom. And that is our greatest blessing. One Swami asks a group of devotees, what is the rare phenomenon on this Mother Earth? The devotee says, Swami, to get moksha, liberation, it's not so easy and it is very rare. Then Swami says, no. When God decides to come down to earth in human form, that is a rare phenomenon. Then Swami goes on to say, rarer than this is when you know that He is God in human form. See, there are so many who do not even know that Bhagwan Baba is this Paripurna Avatar, God incarnate in human form, isn't it? And Swami said, rarest of all the things is when you get an opportunity to serve this God in human form in His mission. And this is the greatest blessing that we have got, being a generation on this Mother Earth when Lord walked this earth to breathe the same air, to walk on the same soil where Avatar walked is not a very ordinary or simple blessing. It's a blessing, it's an unparalleled opportunity probably of many lifetimes, a blessing of many lifetimes. That is our greatest opportunity today, being with the Avatar. See, Swami says the difference between these elevated souls, the ascended masters, and avatar is that for all these elevated beings, it is Karana Janma, Swami says. They come to earth for a specific reason and they accomplish that mission and they go back. But for avatar, Swami says, it is Leela Janma. The avatar chooses when he wants to come to this earth and in which family he wants to be born. Who are his parents? He even chooses who will be there with him in his divine mission. So what does it mean? See, on one Ayudha Puja day during Navaratri celebration, Swami asked one of our elderly lady doctors, "What is Ayudha Puja?" She replied, "Swami, this is the day on which we worship all the instruments, the equipments that we use in our medical practice." And Swami says, "See, doctor, you are all my instruments." See, he has already chosen all of us. That is our greatest blessing, isn't it? To be a part of this divine mission. And it is up to us to realize what a great responsibility it is for us to be in his divine mission as his instruments. And that is where our self-effort, our Purushartha becomes so important for us. And this must make us introspect as to what is our role, having been selected as his instruments in this avatar. Swami says, an elevated master is like a small boat who can ferry across the ocean of samsara some limited number of people, that's all. But this avatar, Swami says, is like a huge ship who at once can carry multitudes of people, millions of people, to the shore where from where there is no return. That is the greatest blessing, being with this Paripurna avatar. And Swami also says, when avatar comes, he also comes with the limitations of the human body. What does it mean? Avatar also suffers like us, and this is what we have seen in the life of Bhagwan, isn't it? This apparent suffering of Bhagwan has a profound message for mankind. See, when Swami had hip fracture and he was confined to the wheelchair, for the first time a devotee asks Swami, "Swami, do you have pain?" Then Swami says, "Noppi undi kani, suffering liti." After all, this is the body. The body goes through pain. It is natural for the body. As long as we have the body, this pain is natural. But Swami says, I don't suffer. So this is a profound message for us. Having got this human body, this pain, pleasure, and the strife, suffering, misery, it is naturally, they all naturally come to us. But it is up to us whether we suffer or not. So we have to disidentify ourselves from this equipment, the body and the mind. And despite the brickbats that the world throws at us, despite the problems that are there for the body and the mind, we should persevere on our spiritual journey. And this is the lesson we learn from Avatar. So Avatar not only teaches us through his words, through his actions, and every gesture of the Avatar is a profound lesson for us. Once a little schoolboy, primary schoolboy, asks Swami, "Swami, to bless us, you raise Abhayahasta like this one. Sometimes you show one Abhayahasta, sometimes two Abhayahasta. When you show both hands like this at us, does it mean the blessing from you is more, Swami?" And Swami says, "You may think like that, But when I raise my one hand with 5 outstretched fingers, I am reminding you that you must practice the 5 human values. And when I raise my both hands, I am reminding you that you must develop mastery over the 10 senses, the 5 senses of knowledge, the Pancha Jnanendriyas, and the 5 senses of action, that is the Pancha Karmendriyas. So every gesture of the avatar is a profound message for us, but it is up to us to tune to this avatar and learn these lessons and imbibe them and practice them in our life. See, Swami says this avatar, this Sathya Sai avatar, has 3 types of rays emanating from me. The gross rays which fill the Prasanthi Nilayam, the subtle rays which can reach the entire universe, and there are these causal rays which occupy the entire cosmos itself. And Swami made a profound statement. Those who come in contact with this gross rays of mine, they become sadhakas, seekers. Those who come in contact with this subtle rays, they will be Mahatmas. And those who are the recipients of my causal rays, the Karana rays, they become Paramahamsa. Paramahamsa is an enlightened master. So this is the extent of spiritual evolution that one is capable of when we are with this Sathya Sai avatar. That is why this avatara is for our uddhara, for our upliftment, for our ascent. Is this uddhara so easy, or is it difficult? If it is difficult, what is the problem for us? Lord Krishna beautifully tells in the Bhagavad Gita, Naham prakashaha sarvasya yogamaya samavrataha mudhoyam na abhijanati lokaha mam ajam apyayam. He says, I am not revealed in my essence to everyone because I am covered with this thick yoga maya. And because of this deluded world does not know me to be the ajam, the unborn, the apyayam, the imperishable truth, the supreme consciousness. So this is the problem for us. What is this maya that comes in our way? And Swami says simply, it is our own mind which is at play. That is the maya. We need to learn to tackle this mind. A teacher who would come in the evening for Swami's darshan, he has to once take evening classes. So he comes and tells Swami, Swami, I am not able to come for darshan in the evening because I have these additional evening classes. So what is coming between you and me is this class, Swami. Swami says, nothing can come between you and me except your own mind. That is the maya for us. So what is the way out? See, Swami says, if I come to earth in the form of the gods that you have seen in pictures, like with 3 heads and 4 hands and 8 hands like Ashtabhuja, Chaturbhuja, what will you do? You will catch me and put me in museum, that's all. And if I look exactly like you, talk like you, walk like you, behave like you, then what happens? You will take this avatar for granted. You will not even know that this is avatar. And that is why I have to show certain miracles, the chamatkar, in order to draw you unto me. So this is the role of chamatkar, or the miracle in the divine mission, to draw us unto him so that we develop faith in the avatar. That's why Swami says, what is ashcharyam for you, what is a matter of wonderment for you, is sahajam for me. It is natural for me. So Swami says this chamatkar that brings you to me is only my visiting card. I give you in the beginning what you want so that you come to me seeking for what I have come, seeking that what I have come to give you, that is the ultimate freedom itself. So can we afford to get stuck at the level of chamatkar? This is something we all should be asking ourselves, and that is in fact Maya that comes between our spiritual evolution and Swami when we are with the avatar. So that's why Swami says this chamatkar of mine must result in samskar. Samskar is our inner transformation. That is very, very important for us, for which our own self-effort is necessary from our side. And this samskar, Swami says, must urge you to do paropakar. What is paropakar? It is not just doing seva, doing good to others. It is para plus upa plus kara, Swami says. Para is divinity, upa near, kara to join. So this paropakar, this seva that you do, the sadhana that you do being with the avatar, that must take you to Bhagwan, that must take you to Swami. That is true sakshatkar. So this chamatkar to samskar is the most vital or the crucial stage for a devotee in order to spiritually evolve, and that is our own self-effort. See, as I said, the role of chamatkar is to strengthen our faith in Bhagwan. See, once Swami said, just as you have a bank where you have the savings account, the fixed account, and all that, I am also a divine banker. See, all the money you save, you put in the savings bank account. And whenever you need money, you can go and withdraw this money when you are in need of cash. And Swami says, if you do not have enough savings account, if you have something to mortgage, let's say like some property, land and house, then also the bank will give you money. And if you do not have both, you should have somebody who will stand as your guarantor so that the bank can loan you money when you need it. Similarly, Swami says, my bank account, the divine bank, also operates the same way. All the seva you do, the sadhana you do, the satsang, and all the activities in the name of spirituality, all that is accumulated in your own savings account, the spiritual account, and the interest from which will be the grace that will come to you when you need it. But if you do not have enough balance in this savings account, if you have done something very good, the punya karmas in your previous birth, that also can save you as the grace. And if you do not have both, then what do you do? The faith that I have this absolute faith in Bhagwan. Bhagwan is with me and I pray to him. He is taking care of me. He is in charge of my life. And when you have that faith, then God will stand as guarantor for you and you will get the grace of Bhagwan. So what is this faith we are talking about? It is not the faith that Swami will fulfill all our prayers and he will grant all our wishes. That is not the faith. The faith that whatever happens to us happens for our highest good, because Bhagwan is in charge of our life and he knows what is best for us. He knows what to give us. That is the faith, that unflinching faith is what we need to develop, and this is the faith that we have to develop from the visiting card that we get from Bhagwan. And it is this faith that will take us to the next stage in our spiritual journey, that is implicit obedience to Bhagwan. Well, what does it mean to obey Bhagwan. And Swami very beautifully clarifies. Once in a Trayi session, Swami is speaking to the students and Swami asks, "Boys, do you all love me?" And everyone, in chorus they say, "Yes, Swami." Then Swami tells, "You don't love me, you only like me." "No, Swami." Again there is a chorus. Then Swami says, "Why I am telling you this is." Then Swami asks a question. "Do you have a pet at home?" "Yes, Swami, we have a pet." "Do you feel happy when the pet is around?" "Yes, Swami." "And do you feel sad when the pet is not around? Do you miss the pet?" "Yes, Swami." "Do you follow the pet wherever it goes?" "No, Swami." Then Swami says, "This is the same case with me. When I am around you, you are happy. When I am not with you, you miss me and you are not so happy. And most importantly, just as you do not follow the pet, you do not follow me." That is why I said, just like the pet, you like me, you do not love me. Then Swami goes on to clarify, to love Swami is to follow Swami. To follow Swami is to practice what Swami has taught you. So this is the obedience to his teachings. Practicing his teachings in letter and spirit, and not just cherry picking his teachings and make it to suit our convenience or to justify the demand of our mind. It is not so. That is not obedience to Bhagwan. And it is the obedience where we offer every thought, word and deed of ours to Swami as Naivedya. See, when we want to offer our thoughts to Bhagwan, we naturally purify all that we think or that we speak or that we do, isn't it? This tremendous responsibility comes on us, and that is what gives us inner purity as well. And when we do everything as Naivedyam to Swami, offer it to Swami. "Swami, I have done it to the best of my ability. I have offered it to you. I have put in sincere efforts and have purified itself, Swami." And when everything is offered like this, and when we leave the rest to him, which means when we are able to accept the outcome of every action of ours as his prasadam, this is the next stage in our spiritual evolution. This is the next stage in our inner transformation, samskara, that is unconditional acceptance of the will of the Lord. And it is this acceptance with no questions asked. "Swami, why didn't I get the promotion that I wanted? Why my colleague got the promotion, Swami? What is this, Swami? Why, Swami? Why not, Swami?" All that will come to an end. Whatever Swami gives us, that is welcome for me. It is his prasadam, because there is a blessing in it also, and because Swami knows what is best for me. That stage of acceptance is very, very important for us, for our transformation. We all know about Sri Kasturiji, one of the greatest devotees of Bhagwan, isn't it? He is the Vyasa and Valmiki of Sai Avatar, who wrote the biography of the Avatar. And he donned, many a role in this avataric mission, including the role of the postman of Prasanthi Nilayam. And that is the greatness of this devotee. And Bhagwan would surprise Kasturiji by visits to his house. And on one such surprise visit, Swami sees Sri Kasturiji playing with a toy. The toy is a bear with a kettle drum around its waist, and the bear is drumming, and Kasturiji is enjoying this drumming of the bear, and he is lost in this. Then Swami, with mock anger, pushes the toy aside, and the toy falls on to the ground, and Swami points to the toy and says, "See, Kasturi, I will do this to you also." Then Sri Kasturiji, the blessed devotee that he is, the humble devotee that he is, who had, a life that lived for Swami, whose life lived for Swami alone. Sri Kasturiji pointing to the bear which continues to drum falling on the ground. He says, Swami, I will also continue to do the same. Which means, whatever you do with me, Swami, I will continue to live your message and propagate your message. I will hold on to you, come what may. This is the stage of acceptance that we need to develop, which will take us to the final stage in transformation, which is surrender. Why this surrender is very important? As we saw, if it is this Maya that comes in the way of man, to reach God, Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Daivi Gunamayi Hyesha Mama Maya Duratyaya Mameva Ye Prapadyante Maya Medam Tarantiti. Yes, this divine Maya of mine, made up of 3 gunas, is unsurmountable, very difficult to cross. But Mam Eva Ye Prapadyante, those who surrender to me, those who take refuge in me, Maya Medam Tarantiti, they alone can cross this veil of Maya. That is why the surrender is very, very important for us if we have to ascend to divinity, if we have to seek what Bhagwan has come to give us. And what is surrender? As Swami himself beautifully explained, it is a state in which there is nothing to give at all. And whatever that comes to us, whether good or bad, having the firm conviction that it is all from Swami himself and accepting it, that is the state of surrender. And these are the stages: trust, obey, accept. Surrender is what we need to do in our spiritual journey. Once a devotee tells Bhagwan, Swami, you are verily Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. Swami says, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara? They are all my managers, that's all. I have appointed them and I have given them certain portfolios, that is all. And Swami says, I am beyond all of them. So the devotee, in a humble way, asks Swami, Swami, what should we do in order to live in this awareness? Swami, you are beyond all this. Then Swami says, tell yourself every moment, Swami is God, Swami is God, Swami is God. Dear brothers and sisters, if we are able to remind ourselves, live in this awareness that Bhagwan is God, then naturally this unflinching faith, the implicit obedience, the unconditional acceptance of the will of God, and even surrender becomes so very easy for us, isn't it? And this is what we need to do, having come to the fold of this avatar, and this is what we need to remind ourselves on the eve of this avataric declaration day. And this God, whom we have the conviction that He is our God, Swami is God, Swami is God, He has also told us, I am God, so are you. I know it, you do not know it. And the very purpose of this human life is to realize your innate divinity and manifest the divinity which is within. And that is what this God has told us. So that becomes very important for us to remind ourselves, are our actions in alignment with this divinity that is within us, in alignment with the teachings of that God who is within us, and that God whom we remember every moment, that Swami is God, Swami is God. And is it in alignment with His teachings is something, it's a matter of self-introspection for all of us, which we have to ponder upon every moment and seek answers from within and align our life with His teachings. And that is what we need to do. It is very important to value our master, yes, but we must remember it is far more important to master His values. Only then our life becomes His message. And this is what I think. These are some of the thoughts that I wanted to share, on the glory of the Avatarhood and as to what is our role being with this avatar. And Swami has told us, what is the dharma that he has come to establish as this avatar. When Lord Krishna says this God incarnates again and again to uphold dharma, what is the dharma that Swami has come to establish? It is prema dharma, Swami says. So this unconditional love, prema, is his highest teaching. He is premavatar, and the path that he has taught is prema yoga. And this is the need of the hour, to cultivate this prema. And this is what I wanted to share today. And today is also the 19th. So 19th of every month, as we all know, is the Ladies' Day. It is a special privilege that Bhagwan, a special blessing that Bhagwan has given to us. And I also express my gratitude to Bhagwan for this special blessing on this day. And with deepest sense of gratitude, I thank Bhagwan for this blessing of speaking to all of you. And I also pray to Bhagwan to bless us, to hold on to him, come what may, manasa bhajare Guru Charanam, so that this little life of ours with the avatar becomes a life of gratitude, dhanyata, and becomes a life of kritakrityata, ultimate fulfillment for all of us. I offer this satsang at the Divine Lotus Feet. Thank you very much. Jai Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, everyone. On behalf of the Sai devotees of Australia and globally, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Lathashree for taking time off her hectic schedule to spend this evening with us. We are truly grateful to you, dear sister, and to our beloved Swami for this beautiful experience. Thank you so much, and Jai Sai Ram.
साई गोपाला, जगतपते हरि साई गोपाला, जगतपते हरि साई गोपाला, जगतपते हरि साई गोपाला, जगदोधारा साई नंदलाला, जगदोधारा साई नंदलाला, जगदोधारा साई नंदलाला, जगदोधारा साई नंदलाला, मथुराधिपति कृष्ण गोपाला, मथुराधिपति कृष्ण गोपाला, मथुराधिपति कृष्ण गोपाला, मथुराधिपति कृष्ण गोपाला, मधुर मधुर हे गान विलोला, 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 जगदोधारा साई नंदलाला, जगदोधारा साई नंदलाला, जगदोधारा साई नंदलाला, जगदोधारा साई नंदलाला, जगतपते हरि साई गोपाला, जगतपते हरि साई गोपाला, जगदोधारा साई नंदलाला, जगदोधारा साई नंदलाला, मथुराधिपति कृष्ण गोपाला, मथुराधिपति कृष्ण गोपाला, मधुर मधुर हे गान विलोला, मधुर मधुर हे गान विलोला, जगदोधारा साई नंदलाला, जगदोधारा साई नंदलाला, जगदोधारा साई नंदलाला, साई नंदलाला जय जय गोपाला, 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 जगतपते हरि साई गोपाला.
మానవుడు కూడా నిర్వాణం కావాలని ఆశిస్తున్నాడు.
Everyone wants liberation.
కానీ ఆ లిబరేషన్ కోసం మనం ఎంత ప్రయత్నం చేయాలి?
What effort we are making to attain this?
కనుక అనేక జన్మముల నుంచి మనం సాధించినటువంటి పుణ్యఫలం అనేటువంటి దాన్ని భగవంతుని దగ్గర డిపాజిట్ కట్టుకున్నాం.
Let us deposit all the merit that we have accrued over the past lives
అది
with the bank
భగవంతుని
of
దగ్గర
God.
భద్రంగా ఉంటుండాది.
This merit is safe in
ఇంకా
His
దానికి
bank.
ఇంట్రెస్ట్ కూడా ఇస్తుంటాడు భగవంతుడు.
God gives interest further to the principal amount.
కనుక దానిని మనం పొందేటప్పుడు మనం ఏ విధంగా పొందాలి?
As you receive the interest, how should you get it?
చెక్కులు తీసుకుని పోయి సైన్ పెట్టి ఆ యొక్క భగవంతుడు అనేటువంటి మేనేజర్కి ఇవ్వాలి.
Take the check, put your signature, submit to the manager God.
ఆ చెక్ బుక్ తానే అందిస్తాడు.
God will give you checkbook.
అది ఏ త్యాగము.
Checkbook
ఈ
is
త్యాగం
sacrifice.
అనేటువంటి చెక్ మన అందరి దగ్గర ఉంటుండాలి.
This check of sacrifice is with us.
కానీ త్యాగం అనేటువంటి చెక్ పైన ప్రేమ అనేటువంటి సిగ్నేచర్ చేయకపోతే చెక్ ఇస్తే ప్రయోజనం ఏమిటి?
You have got this check of sacrifice, but you should put your signature of love, or else it
ప్రతి
is useless.
మానవునికి ప్రేమ త్యాగము రెండు చాలా అవసరము.
Every man requires these two, sacrifice
ఈ
and love.
ప్రేమ త్యాగములు రెండు కూడా ఏకమైనప్పుడే మనం పొందవలసినటువంటి ఫలితాన్ని మనం సుఖంగా పొందుతాం.
With the combination of sacrifice and love, you will
భగవంతుడు
be
ఎంతో
blissful.
అనుభవింప చేస్తున్నాడు.
In fact, God has been doing
ఎన్ని
so many.
విధమైనటువంటి ప్రయత్నంలో చేస్తున్నాడు.
God has given, granting many boons.
ఎంత ప్రేమను అందిస్తున్నాడు.
He is showering
కానీ
love.
దురదృష్టవంతులు దీన్ని అందుకోలేకపోతున్నారు.
But unlucky people are not able to receive
దీనికి
God's
కారణం
love.
ఏమిటి? భగవంతుని యొక్క సంకల్పం వేరు, అందుకునేటువంటి వాడి సంకల్పం వేరు.
The will of God is in one way, that of a recipient in another direction.
కనుకనే దీనిని పొందకుండా పోవడానికి మూల కారణం అయిపోతుంది.
This is the cause that we are not able to
భగవంతుడు
receive.
దయామయుడు,
God is
ప్రేమ స్వరూపుడు, కరుణా సముద్రుడు.
God is compassionate. He is all kind with oceanic love.
ఇలాంటి భగవంతుడు ఇస్తున్నటువంటి దాన్ని ఎందుకు నీవు పోగొట్టుకుంటున్నావు?
How is that we lose God's love?
నువ్వు ప్రకృతి భావం నీలో నిండిపోయినాయి.
You are full of worldly feelings.
ప్రాకృతమైనటువంటి చింతనలు నీలో నిండిపోయినాయి.
Your heart with the passing feelings, temporary ideas, you are not able to receive love.
ఏనాడు ఈ పవిత్రమైనటువంటి దాన్ని పొందాలని కోరుతున్నావో,
that day when you want to attain this sacred level,
అపవిత్రమైనటువంటి దాన్ని దూరం చేయాలి.
give up all that is unsacred.
ఏమి లేని బుర్రలోన ఏమైనా చేర్చవచ్చు.
If the head is empty, you can fill it up with anything.
ఏమేమో నిండి ఉన్న తలబుర్రది ఖాళీ అగునా?
If the head is already stuffed, can it ever be empty?
తలబుర్రది ఖాళీ కాక ఇలా సుకృతము నింపనగునా?
The head without being empty, can it ever be filled with the spiritual content?
ఈ తల లోపల
You have filled your head with lots of
దాంతో
stuff.
భగవంతుడు అందించేటువంటి ఒక ప్రేమ యొక్క రసాన్ని ఏ రీతిగా నీవు దాచుకోగలవు?
Then how can you fill it up with love, God's gift?
దాన్ని పారబోయి
Empty the whole
దాన్ని
head.
త్యాగం చేయి.
Sacrifice it.
దీన్ని నింపుకో.
Fill it with love.
ఈ త్యాగంలో ఉండినటువంటి యోగము ఇంత గొప్ప యోగంగా ఉంటుండాలి.
Tyaga, sacrifice is yoga, the spiritual practice.
Swami Sathya Sai Bhaktajana Samrashaka Bhaktajana Samrashaka Parishwara Om Jai Jagadish Hari Shashivadana Shreepara Sarva Pranapati Swami Sarva Pranapati Ashrita Kalpaladika Ashrita Kalpaladika Bhagavad Bandhava Om Jai Jagadish Hari Mata Pita Guru Deva Pariyanta Yunine Swami Pariyanta Yunine Nada Brahma Jagannatha Nada Brahma Jagannatha Nagendra Shayana Om Jai Jagadish Hari Avatarhood Sai Mahadeva Sathya Sai Mahadeva Mangala Harati Anduko Mangala Harati Anduko Mangala Giridhari Om Jai Jagadish Hari Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana 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 Om Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Jai Sadgurudeva Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana 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 Om Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Jai Sadgurudeva Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana 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 Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. Samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. Samasta loka sukhino भवन्तु